Hey everyone, it's me Ben. Just for my TEC seminar project, I decided to go over and talk about kombucha. So today in my video I'm going to be covering what is it, what are its benefits, why drink it, how do you make it, and alright, so what is kombucha? Well, it's a sweet tea that is fermented for approximately 1 week in a jar with some starter fluid, which is just more kombucha, and the SCOBY. So the SCOBY is the symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, and it's exactly what it says, a living culture of bacteria and yeast that is used to ferment the sweet tea. So it looks really gross and ugly, but I'm telling you, this is a healthy, perfectly good SCOBY right here. It feels like slime. It looks like slime, but it is a living mass. So, what is it in the general sense? The economy, commercial, that big deal. Well, kombucha is the center of a growing industry of beverages. It's considered a health drink. Some people like just the taste, like myself. You can find it at Whole Foods, you can find it at Foods for Living, and now you can even find it in places such as Meijer, Target, really any grocery store. That's how popular it is. Heck, I first got my first kombucha at Aldi, so it's really become a widespread beverage. It's sold everywhere. The only downside really is that it can be expensive, like $2 or $3 for a bottle. That's maybe like a third of this, whereas I can make this whole thing for probably $2 or $3 a gallon. So it's really about self-sufficiency, making it cheap, but also making it good for you and having fun with it. In terms of how these beverages affect the body, there is no scientific evidence that it will cure anything. Although considering that kombucha is an ancient beverage, where the origin is not completely known, just the fact that it might be from Eastern Europe, Asia, or Russia. It's been used as a home remedy for any number of illnesses. I would not, of course, use this as a cure to your illnesses because chances are it will not work. However, it is probiotic, it's antioxidant, and it'll probably help you with your digestion. I know it has helped me. So basically, the biggest thing is I just like the taste of it. I like how it's bubbly, slightly effervescent. It's sweet without having too much sugar because the sugar gets fermented and eaten by the bacteria. And it's just a great alternative to soda for me. It's healthy. I can make it super cheap. I can make a lot of it. And it's a great hobby. It's fun. So I'd say give it a shot. So now I'm going to show you the fun part. How do I make this? Today we'll be starting out with the second part of the fermentation process because this is already kombucha that has sat for a week. So this is already set to go to the second part, which is flavoring and carbonation. So here I have my equipment, which is some bottles, a couple of growlers, simply because I need to get more bottles, and I actually found that I like the way the kombucha tastes after sitting in here better. A funnel to assist me in filling my bottles, and just a cup to pour it in so that it's easier and less of a mess. I've also placed a towel to prevent a mess, and I've sanitized and washed everything, including the table and this space. Here I have a bowl where once we begin the process, I will remove the SCOBYs from both of my brewing vessels. I will place them into here along with some of the kombucha from each of the jars, so that'll work as starter fluid for the next brews, so that when we start those next brews, the pH will be at a level that will be able to sustain these kombucha, or these SCOBYs, without killing them. And then over here, I have the ingredients that I'm going to use to flavor the kombucha. So here I just have a bowl of what was frozen berries, and then I just thawed them out. I just used a microwave, and then I mashed them up so I could mix up the flavor and make it really just kind of constant throughout the different beverages. I have some ginger powder. Originally I would use ginger root, but I find that this works just as well, and it's cheaper. So, well, I don't know if it's, whatever. Here we have lime slices. So, yeah, I just like lime. It gives it a nice kick, and it balances out the sweetness and the tartness with a nice sour twist. I'm going to begin by removing the covers to the vessels, the jars. So these covers serve to allow the SCOBY, the bacteria and the yeast, to breathe in the air like it's supposed to. It does not work well with closed, insulated fermentation. It requires to breathe. So this allows that to happen without bacteria, other harmful bacteria, bugs, dust getting in, stuff that would harm the brew or contaminate it. Here's a special type of cloth I purchased simply because of size. I did not use that same type here. I just used a paper towel, which works just as well. Cheesecloth does not work. I've done a lot of research. Apparently fruit flies get in that stuff all the time. So we're just going to take these SCOBYs out. There's should be the new one produced at the end of the fermentation, and the older ones. You can tell it's older by the darker color. And we're going to set these in here. There's another one towards the bottom, I believe, but we're going to get to that in a minute. And then we're just going to pour some of this into here. Pour a little bit more of this one. And what this will do is this will give us the means of producing kombucha, because later we'll produce sweet tea, but it won't be kombucha until it's sat with this stuff for a week. You want to make sure to use a good amount of starter fluid to get that pH to the right level. And we'll just set this aside. So this is what they end up looking like once they're bottled. As you can see, the fruit juices have already started to mix with the kombucha. This one happened to have a little bit less juice, a little bit more solids of the fruits. I'm hoping it'll still taste the same, but the variation in each bottle always leads to a nice surprise. So I'm gonna wash down these bottles, get any stuff that I spilled on them off, and then I'm gonna put them in my closet, and then I'll get started on the next step. Alrighty, so now I'm going to show you guys the primary fermentation step, or just creating the kombucha itself. And we're going to begin by boiling 4 cups of water, and then once it is brought to a boil, I'll steep these 4 tea bags in there. Really, you can do more or less tea bags. I just like to use 4 because I don't want to use too many, and I'll reuse these for my next batch for the other jar too, because these 4 cups will only do this jar here. So now that this water is just about boiling, so it's close enough, I'm going to just drop these in and leave those there for a few minutes. And then when these are done making the tea, I'll add the sugar. Alright, so it's been a few minutes. The tea has been brewing, it's been steeping, and now I'm going to remove the tea bags and set them aside and add 1 cup of sugar. Just pour it in. You're probably thinking, man, that's a lot of sugar for a supposedly healthy beverage, right? Well, it gets eaten up by the bacteria and in the process of fermentation. So it really isn't that much of an issue. There'll be a lot less sugar when it's all done. So we just stir it until it's fully dissolved, and then we'll pour it into this jar here, and that'll be that. Alright, so I've added 4 cups of water to here to boil to get for the next batch, or the other jar. And in the meantime, I've been adding 8 cups in total to this jar of cold water. So this is the last 4. So now there should be about 12 cups of water in here. And I'm just going to set this new sweet tea mixture aside, maybe give it a little bit of a mix while I prepare the other one. And then once they've both been allowed to cool for however long it takes them to cool, to get between for about 75, 85 degrees. We're just going to let them sit till they get to that point, and then we can add the SCOBY in. Alright folks, we're almost done. We have both of our chilled sweet tea mixes here, and the last part is simply to add the SCOBYs. So I'm going to stick this nice, fresh, young one here, right on top there. And we'll continue to use this old one until it's completely dead. The more we have in there, the better anyway. So, and then we'll add some of this fluid to each of them. And there goes the SCOBYs. Last but not least, we just add the covering to prevent any pests from getting in there, any harmful, contagious bacterias, or say, viruses. This probably wouldn't stop a virus, but. And then I will set these in my closet on their shelf, and they will sit there for 1 week. After 1 week, I will remove them and do exactly the same process that I started with today, which will probably actually be 1.5 weeks or so. Give me time to finish the batch that's about to be done in a couple days. That should be plenty of time for this to get nice and strong and flavorful. Just a little bit here. And should allow it to become kombucha. So, yeah, I'm just gonna put these away. That's how you make kombucha. That's the whole process there. It's a self-repeating, self-fulfilling prophecy, I guess you could say, because every batch creates a new SCOBY, and every you use the kombucha to make more kombucha. So it's interesting. You wonder, it's kind of like a what started first, chicken or the egg question there. I showed this to you guys because I picked this for my project because it's something that I'm passionate about. I think it's a form of art, and I think it's a fun hobby to do, especially, well, we're all stuck inside thanks to the pandemic. I had actually taken a break from it for a while to focus on my schoolwork, and while I was sitting around having all this time to myself, I figured, what the heck, why not start it back up? So that's what I did. I guess my questions for you as the audience would be, did you find this interesting? Did you learn something new? Did you think it was fun? Would you like to see more? And if you do want to pursue this on your own, just let me know, contact me, and I can help you out. So, my email is benjaminnealperry@gmail.com, benjaminnealperry@gmail.com. So, I hope you guys all have a wonderful, wonderful break from the day-to-day life. As terrible as being stuck inside is. It's make the best of it, Find a hobby, try something new, experiment, have some fun, So, all right. Hey everyone, thanks again for watching my video, and since you've stuck around this long, I'm going to give you one last little bit of knowledge about kombucha. Since coronavirus, there's been a shortage of yeast, and a lot of people have been interested in making sourdough. So what we're going to do today, well I'm doing now, is collecting this at the bottom, this concentration of kombucha yeast, into this jar from both my jars. And then I'm going to put some of the starter fluid in here. And then once I have this jar full of starter fluid and kombucha yeast, I can actually use that with some flour and some other ingredients to make a sourdough starter. So it'll be a little different than your regular sourdough, but sourdough nonetheless. So if you want the recipe, I can add it at the end of this video. I got it out of a book that I got last Christmas. So thank you. Have a wonderful day. Hope you're staying safe. Hope you're staying healthy. And enjoy.